politician and broadcaster Bobby Seagull is here to tell us what's caught his eye. We'll talk to you in a moment. Bobby, lovely to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. First of all, should we have a quick look at the front pages?
Let's do that.
The Sunday Mirror leads with the story we've been talking about, that Prince Philip has handed in his driving licence. They add that the woman who was involved in a car crash with the Duke of Edinburgh last month has said she now feels safer.
The Observer reports that MPs are calling for the sacking of the Transport Secretary, Chris Grayling, over the collapsed Brexit ferry deal.
Mail on Sunday features an expose on Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, and the way they've written it up, they say, labelling him as totally unfit for office.
And the Express shows a picture of Common Speaker John Bercow and leading Tory Remainer Kenneth Clarke, claiming they had a Brexit curry house plot.
No doubt we'll hear more if that is the case about that.
I wonder what
newspapers love the fact that where they've eaten, don't they?
Yes.
Oh, you also front page of that was this story about head teachers supporting a pupil strike. Bobby, lovely to see you, by the way. Tell us a little bit about this. The Head Teachers Union applauding a planned strike by school pupils, some of whom are planning to walk out of lessons on Friday over climate change.
Yeah, so this story actually starts back in August, where there's a Swedish 16-year-old called Greta Thunberg, and she had a lone strike outside Parliament in Sweden. And since then, this movement of young people voicing their concerns about the environment has grown. So they had 15,000 children in Australia doing it, I think a couple of thousand in Brussels. So now students in the UK think actually it's our time to make our voice heard about environmental concerns.
So the idea is that some of them are choosing to go out on strike on Friday.
On Friday, that's right. So again, it's individual schools' decisions, and there are some bodies saying actually, you know, school is a school, but actually these young people are expressing, I think, concerns that could impact them for generations and their future
That's what
kids.
I wanted to ask you. Can you tell us what your opinion is then? Should they be doing that?
So as a school teacher,
that's what I want to know. As a school teacher, they should be in lessons, shouldn't they?
I'd rather my children be in my lessons.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, they have a conscience. These people do want to, they're thinking about their future, the environment, and if they want to express that in a particular way and the sort of head teacher's body sort of accepted it, then, you know, who am I to stop them sort of voicing their...
I think that was delicately done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
Mr. Seagull style.
There's a great story here. The next story, they've got a picture of the Prince of Wales. But
it's a little unfair, really, probably,
it's
isn't it?
a little bit harsh, perhaps. I think this is from the Times today, and this is the formula for ear growth over the years. Come on, Bobby, can you explain this formula to us,
So firstly,
please?
Charles is not a criminal. They just have a picture of him because cartoonists sometimes like to point out his ears. So essentially, in terms of recognition of us as individuals, we've got things like fingerprints, facial recognition, but now some scientists and mathematicians have said, actually, our ears are a very reliable source of who we are. So they've come up with a formula to predict the circumference of our ear. So it comes out with 88 plus half your age.
Right.
So they basically grow in proportion through your life.
Exactly. And essentially, they've had data before, I think in the 90s, had like 100 people, but now they've expanded to thousands of people, so they've come up with this more, they think, more predictable formula.
Do you like the formula?
I'm a maths teacher.
I know. It looks a bit simple for you,
It does look
doesn't
a bit simplistic, but I guess humans, ultimately, we do grow in certain proportions.
In uniform ways?
Yeah.
OK, excellent. Thank you. Tell us about this one. This is from, I'm not sure which paper this is from.
Is it
it's
the
from
Times?
The Times, yeah, Times Business, actually. It's about Premier League, talking about streaming matches, sort of Netflix style, live football matches.
Yeah, so I'm a huge football fan. Yes, they're still recovering from a West Ham 1-1 draw against Palace. We should have won, but that's separate. So essentially, the Premier League, they've actually dropped 10% of their income between, I think, the 2016-17 auction and the 2019-20 auction.
Still a lot of money,
Still a lot of money, but they're thinking, again, you're a business, we need to sort of capture this growth and interest in football worldwide. So they're thinking, actually, streaming like Netflix is the way to capture this interest, and they're going to trial it out in Singapore. So for individual matches, I could go and say, oh, West Ham versus Crystal Palace, I'm going to stream that match.
It's got to be the way to go, hasn't it?
Yeah, the long term, I guess the on-demand broadcasting is where the future is. That's what consumers want, especially around the globe.
Exactly.
What about people going to the matches, though? Will people not turn up?
So they currently
I think people, it's still.
okay.
I think going to the match is a completely different experience from watching the match on the telly.
Yeah.
You got your pie, your scarf, you're singing in the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Joining in, all that.
So you'd still do both. Would you watch a lot more games, do you think, if they were available?
I admit, there's evening matches, weekend matches. I'd be glued to my screen. So perhaps this is a something which will increase the amount of eyeballs on the screen.
Right.
And maybe perhaps even increase the amount of money even more for the
Yeah, that's
public.
exactly what they're looking for, aren't they?
Exactly. Now, this is a teeny tiny little article that you have here from the Telegraph, but this is brilliant. The quest to find the casket linked to Romulus of Rome.
So I love the story because in school history, most of us in year 7, 8 learn about the history of Rome. So the story is there's Romulus and Remus, two twins abandoned, raised by a she-wolf, and then Romulus kills Remus. And in this, they think they found the sarcophagus for Romulus. But what's really curious is, Rome is called Rome because of Romulus.
Yeah.
Had Remus killed his brother Romulus, it would be called Rheims.
Yeah, of course.
So we're going on holiday to Rheims rather than Rome.
I think I'm not sure. I think we may be running out of time, but this is a rather lovely story. Only because I really love the Chelsea Flower Show, and we know that the Duchess of Cambridge is creating a garden for the Chelsea Flower Show. This is it, and it's rather wonderful actually, isn't it? Because it looks like it's a garden very much designed for children to be playing in.
Absolutely, and again, I think the sort of intention behind it is people should be exploring the outdoor spaces, and outdoor spaces help us to connect with ourselves, and therefore it helps to boost mental well-being. So again, it's such a big thing these days, focusing on our mental health.
I love that idea.
Beautiful.
Little places for kids to go bug hunting as well.
Absolutely.
Even for adults as well.
Yes.
You're
Big
quite
kids.
right.
Yeah.
And as we know, the weather is cooler today.
Yes.
It's not cooler, it's cooler. It's lovely to see you. We'll see you a little bit later as well. Thank
Bobby,
you.
thank you. Do stay with us. The headlines are just coming up.